Welcome back, Namibia. We continue to pay homage to the life and legacy of the late founding president and father of the Namibian nation. Now, in this particular engagement, we'll explore the legacy of the late founding father, Dr. Sam Nujoma, through the eyes of a born free, a generation who came after the country had gained independence back in 1990. This morning, we're joined in studio by Madam Niilonga Amukwiyu, a young Namibian, to give us her perspective on the life and legacy of Dr. Nujoma. Good morning, ma'am, and welcome to Good Morning Namibia.
Good morning, Denver, and thank you for having me. Thank you for interviewing me to talk about Dr. Sam Nujoma, who is not only our founding father, who is not only somebody that is way older than me, who can be, he can actually be old enough to be my grandfather, who is not only known in Africa, but in Cuba, at United Nations, and the rest of the world.
Thank you so much.
It's not something that I take lightly.
There is a perspective and a perception that young people, particularly born frees, are not necessarily interested in history. Is that true or not?
Yes or no. Yes and no. There are some that are interested, like myself, and majority are really not. Yes.
But I think your presence also signifies that we want to change and dismantle that perspective and make sure that we all understand where it is that we're coming from so that we can have a better appreciation of the peace that we're enjoying today. Now, seeing that you are a born free who's indeed interested in history, what is your understanding of the role that Dr. Nujoma played in the liberation struggle of Namibia?
Dr. Sam Nujoma, at the age of 30, in 1959, there was a massacre at an old location on the 10th of December. So after the massacre, Dr. Sam Nujoma was instructed by Chief Jose Kitako to go and petition for independence at the United Nations. He was only 30 years at the time. So on February of 1960, he left the country. He was told to prepare himself because he may only come back after the country has gained independence. And that's exactly what happened. He only came back 30 years later. Imagine somebody that has given up their life. He literally gave up his 30 years of his life outside of your motherland for the liberation of this country. So he went through Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, went to Tanzania, Ghana, until he reached New York. Karina, the late Karina were already there at the United Nations. So he went to give a first-hand account of what happened in 1959. So he was then asked by the people at the United Nations to say, how many people are educated? How many indigenous people are educated in Namibia? Because for you to rule yourself, you should be educated. He answered that the indigenous people are treated as subhuman, and therefore they have no opportunity to be educated. He also asked them, or told them, that a man is born free. He requires no qualification to request for independence. Just
by being a human.
Yeah, just
you're worthy of freedom.
Yeah, you're worthy of freedom. And then they handed in their petition. He went back to Tanzania, and there in Tanzania, while in Tanzania, he was inspired by Julius Nyerere. He was inspired also by the Kwame Nkrumah of Ghana, because they have gained independence. They told him that, look, independence for your country is possible. However, while you wait for the United Nations, why don't you come up with an armed struggle? And that's how the plan, which is the military wing of the SWAPO, was formed. He then he became the commander-in-chief. He was also already the SWAPO party president, and also then became the commander-in-chief of the plan.
Now, reflecting on these historical facts and what he had to sacrifice for this country to attain its independence, what do you make? What is your perspective on the late founding president's leadership qualities, his leadership abilities?
Okay, seeing that I was not, like I said, I was not born before independence. And when he retired from as a head of state, I was only 14 years. So I can't say much about his work in the presidency. However, Sam Nujoma is a president that demystified power. He is the type that will make you comfortable around him. I remember meeting him at his farm in Etunda in 2018. We were a group of around 5 people. We decided to go greet him and took individual pictures with him. And then he noticed at age of 89, he was 89 at the time, he noticed that there was somebody that didn't take a picture with him, and he was like, Punanguina in his vernacular, Punanguina inathane kwananga, which means there is that one that I didn't take a picture with. So that's the type of Nujoma that we know as young people. He was warm-hearted, he was a human being. He was our historian, our library, who was always ready to tell a story about the liberation struggle of the independence of Namibia. Yes.
You narrated the story of this country so beautifully earlier, and you also acknowledged in your introductory overview that although some born-frees are certainly interested in the country's history, there are some who may be less interested. How will we make sure, and that would be part of honoring his legacy, to get everyone on board to understand who he was and what incredible role he had played to get this country free?
We should, perhaps we should put patriotism in our curriculum in school. People should be taught to love their country, because there are people that do not have any sense of responsibility toward their country. People should visit the National Museum. They should go to our National Archive, read his book. You will have a new appreciation of who Nujoma was.
Yeah. Although the late President Nakikengo coined the term the Namibian House, President Nujoma, of course, was the founding father of this nation, the founding president and father of the Namibian nation. Talk to us about how that concept became true to who we are as a people, that he was indeed the father of the Namibian nation.
When it comes to our identity, I mean, Namibia was Southwest Africa. In Southwest Africa, it's just a direction. Even a country, South Africa, it's a direction. It's not a name.
I hope they don't hear us.
It's not a name. I hope they don't hear us. It's not a name. So them being able to rename our country, Namibia, which is named after our desert, them coming up with a flag, which is represented, the colors which talks to our identity, the blue for our sky and our ocean, and the resources in our water resources, the green for our vegetation and agricultural resources, the red for people, the yellow for energy and life, and the 12 rays for the sun, which represent our ethnicity. They did a lot. Our people were very thoughtful. Our national anthem, which is Namibia, land of the brave, because of the bravery of her people to be able to attain independence. Our people were our leaders were very thoughtful.
Thank you, Niilonga. Thank you for your time, and thank you for sharing those very precious insights with us this morning. We do hope that your fellow born-frees will heed the clarion call to learn more about the country's history. But thank you for leading the way.
Thank you, Denver. Thank you for having me.
Ewa. There you have it, Niilonga Amukwiyu, a born-free, giving us her perspective on the life and legacy of the late founding president and father of the Namibian nation, Dr. Sam Shafishuna Nujoma.